Welcome to another episode of My Tais at Sunset. I'm Ty.
Aloha, I'm my happy Aloha Friday. Happy weekend. I want to set the intention that we share a lot of laughs and fun and positivity and healing. And like I mentioned in the last episode, I got a new puppy, and right now I hear him barking in the background, and I don't think I can edit him out. So I think we're all going to hear him barking in the background.
Oh no, I think through the whole podcast we're going to be like hearing him bark.
He's so cute. I did launch his TikTok. There's a link to it in the write-up for our podcast. And I finally posted one video so everybody can see exactly how cute he is with his funny eyebrows.
Oh, that's exciting. I want to check it out. I will check it out right after this. But happy Aloha Friday, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Maya and her daughter have been doing a lot of work to promote us. So please check us out, and make sure you link up because you're going to be missing out on Kona, new puppy. And that's really exciting. And then there's going to be a lot of new content coming out. So just keep up with us. Follow us on like Facebook and TikTok now. Now you're like on TikTok.
It's my first time on TikTok. I mean, you send me videos for a while now, and even my daughter, my son, they show me videos, and I never had anything good to put on there, so I didn't feel like I could participate.
Well, now you have a dog with really aggressive eyebrows.
He's just too funny. I have to share him with the world. He's so cute.
That's such a great story though, because he was adopted to heal someone. Mm-hmm. He did his job, and then now he's like trying to like bring joy into your family. But man, those eyebrows are really intense.
Maybe that's what he was meant to do.
Heal the world through TikTok.
He's gonna heal the world
with his
cuteness.
He's lowering everybody's blood pressure. Mm-hmm. So, something new, real quick. Everybody knows how famous H-E-B. So H-E-B is a grocery store out here in Texas. It's super famous, super popular, huge. They're everywhere in Texas. And I don't know if it's out of state. I think there might be one or two out of state. But it's kind of like Buc-ee's. It's a Texas staple, like Whataburger, all those kinds of things. So I went to the store the other day, and they had this super sale on these apples. Mm-hmm. And they're called cosmic apples. And I like to describe them as a combination of a Honeycrisp and maybe like a red apple that's super crunchy. So I'm going to take a bite. Mm-hmm. I'm going to let you know like a fresh take on like the flavors. That was a big bite.
That was a big bite. That's a big apple, actually. Were they all kind of that big? Like the size of a softball.
Yeah, they're pretty big.
Chew.
I probably shouldn't have taken that big of a bite. So they're the size of like a Honeycrisp apple that's pretty big, or a Fuji apple. A lot of people talk about that. But the cosmic apple is very bright, like a deep, rich red. And it has the same texture as a Honeycrisp apple. So you bite into it, it's like super, super crispy. It's light, and it has like a little bit of a sour kick to it, almost like a green apple. So it's super good. I cannot eat one whole one in one setting. Like I literally eat half of it, wrap it up in a paper towel, put it back in the fridge, and then I eat it later in the day.
I love to eat apples with bites of cheese or peanut butter.
Peanut butter is fantastic. Do you like crunchy or smooth?
It depends on what I'm eating. With an apple, it would definitely be smooth because the apple's the crunchy thing.
Smooth. Mm-hmm. I am a big fan of crunchy peanut butter. I know a lot of people can't get past the texture, but I'm like, more crunch, the better.
Yeah, it would depend. Like if I was having like a scoop of vanilla ice cream and I wanted to add peanut butter, I would definitely add crunchy because it would give that texture too.
Delicious. So they're cosmic apples right now. They went from 59 cents a pound to $1.89 a pound.
Were they grown nearby? Were they imported?
I actually don't know. Okay. But let's find out where. So I will read you like the actual verbiage behind this. So it has its own website.
Of course it does.
Cosmic Crisp. It is cosmiccrisp.com. The Cosmic Crisp brand apple is the remarkable result of 20 years of study and research by Washington State University's world-class tree fruit breeding program. Classically bred and grown in Washington State, the Cosmic Crisp is a cross of the Enterprise and Honeycrisp varieties. The
I didn't
large,
know there was
juicy, and red
Enterprise.
apple, me neither, has a perfectly balanced flavor and firm texture, making it ideal for snacking, cooking, baking, and entertaining. So its selling points are perfect crisp texture, which you all heard, amazingly sweet and juicy, which is true. It was founded through classical breeding and non-GMO. So they just kept breeding trees, I guess.
Okay.
And generous size and vibrant color. Definitely a generous size because the red, like you saw, it was like pretty big apple.
Yeah. Washington has, I think that's what they're known for, is their apples.
Yeah. I'm really impressed by this website.
It's gorgeous. And after knowing how long it takes to make a website, you have to appreciate the good ones when you find them.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. So did you go on any new adventures this week?
Did I go on an adventure? I got to think. So I did a Costco run. I went someplace. Oh, I went driving. Twice I got stuck in traffic, but they were beautiful locations. And both times I kept thinking, if you're ever stuck in traffic, Hawaii is probably one of the nicest, most beautiful places to be stuck because the views all around your car are amazing. So I was stuck on the H3 Freeway up high where you can see the ocean and you can see all the waterfalls on the mountain, which were going off because it was raining for a few days. And that was just beautiful. I think I was stuck for all of, 15 minutes. But I just kept wishing that I could grab my camera and start recording. Except that I was driving, so I couldn't do that.
Why were you guys stuck? What happened?
They were just doing road work. And then
everybody's trying to merge.
Yeah, and then they were doing road work also on my way to I was going down around Makapu'u side, and they were doing road work on the road, and that time we were stuck for, I want to say 15 minutes for the first time, and then another 10 minutes further down the road, a few miles down, they were doing road repairs. So, but they were spaced out, but it's a lot of traffic. That is the busiest road. All the tourists are on that road.
Yeah, why don't they do that at night? That seems really odd to be doing the road work during the day.
No, because it's always residential and you can't make noise at night when people are sleeping. It's fine. It's fine. And the view, I was staring at the ocean.
Didn't I live off of Makapu'u?
No, this is Makapu'u around by Sea Life Park and you're coming around China Walls and all of that, right?
What were you doing up there?
I was going to Costco. In Hawaii Kai.
Oh, in Hawaii Kai, you took that route. That is a pretty route, though. Yeah.
I really missed that. To be stuck is not a big deal because I'm just staring at the ocean. And it was so incredibly beautiful. Right. And if you don't know where I'm talking about, if you ever watch this television show, Magnum P.I., that's his main drive. That's his so lame. That's his one road that takes him to Honolulu and to North Shore and to everywhere. It's so funny. Course. That's the only road in Hawaii, apparently. The only road. I don't know why they don't do Kamehameha Highway. Kamehameha Highway goes around the entire island. And for all along the North Shore, it is all ocean, along the ocean.
Yeah, there's actually no border between the ocean and the road, so it floods quite often, too.
It does. But still, there are so many roads that could be featured. I have this video, and I haven't used it. But I filmed the H1 going all the way out to Kapolei, Costco.
Did you really?
I did. So if you want to see the freeway driving, you can drive along with me. I wasn't driving. Watch how
people don't use their blinkers
on the freeway, and you can see what our freeway is. Maybe that'll be the video for this one.
That'd be kind of cool. Mm-hmm. I don't think a lot of people know. I remember I did that one video with Lisa, and I put my GoPro on top of her Mini Cooper, and it stayed on. And then you can watch it fall off, and I'm running to get it.
Oh no! Where were you driving?
Up North Shore, I think. Yeah, past the old folks' home. The long way home. Yeah.
Did it fall down onto the road, and nobody ran over
it? It fell off down into the road, and then 5 minutes later, you see me run up and pick it up. If I can find that video, I will send it so you can post it. It's pretty cool.
I kept thinking
So
that
I'll look for it.
I wish I had my camera mounted, I don't take it with me very often, my GoPro, but that's like the easiest. I even have that mount, the suction cup that kind of sticks your camera onto your windshield. So it's kind of funny because I have to record it upside down and then I flip the video in editing.
Oh, that's cool. Why do you record it upside down?
Because you can't stick the camera up high enough into the windshield to see clearly, because otherwise you waste a lot of your video on the hood of the car. Nobody wants to see that. They want to see as much of the view as possible. So the suction cup things, I bought one that's super shallow because I have a tiny car. So it only has a small space, and I just put the camera upside down. If I wanted to put it
recording tips.
Yeah, if I wanted to put it the correct way, I would have to have a different mount, but it's not a hard thing to flip it upside down. Everything's digital, right?
Yeah, I think going out to like the west side, actually, I really think people would enjoy driving in Hawaii with you, but I wonder if they want to see like the road or they would want to see like the ocean, but the ocean doesn't change while you're driving by it. That much.
And I don't think I drove along the ocean for my drive out to Kapolei. That's all inland driving. So that's just seeing the freeways, but you get to see the mountains and you get to see.
I think you should show people. We need our listeners out there to go ahead and give some input. Send us an email or something and be like, I want to see driving in Hawaii, because then you can see how poor the driving is in Hawaii with nobody using signals. Everybody's shocking. So
I wave.
So in Hawaii,
I always wave.
You have to
say hello, and I'm always doing that. I'm always saying thank you.
Or you can do aggressive shaka-ing. I mean, some people, they get angry and they shaka. It's the dumbest thing. I'm like, what a universal signal.
The weirdest one is people will, there's a few sections of the video where they're like next to me, and it's like they want to be on camera. So they stay with me.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Do they know you're on camera?
They see the camera, and so they think it's fancy. And I'm like, I'm just a normal person. Like, I'm just recording. But it's like, I know at one time my GoPro, that was even with the GoPro. But then I also used my big camera and on the same mount, and it just looks bigger when it's in the windshield, I guess, stuck up there on the ceiling.
Yeah.
And so people were like trying to stay with me. There were people that waved. There were people that waved to the camera.
That's hilarious.
And I'm like, I'm going to edit you out.
Oh, I would love to see that. No, you're not. Leave them in. They want to be famous.
They want to be famous.
They're going to be famous.
Because we drive in Hawaii. Oh, gas is so crazy right now. I'm sure it is everywhere.
Tell us.
These videos were filmed a while ago. I don't really try to drive anywhere now. But yeah, it's definitely over $5 and climbing. I hope it doesn't go up much higher. And that's on Oahu. It gets more expensive. You have to add more when they have to ship it to the neighbor islands.
See, how are people going to survive if they can barely afford gas? Like, I don't know. Hawaii, you don't drive very far, but when you're in traffic, I mean, you're sitting there. You are at the mercy of everyone else.
Well, hopefully everybody's getting compensated to drive in, or maybe they're going to do a lot more, remote working. But there were a lot of people stuck in traffic with me. It could have been worse, though. I mean, it wasn't actually that bad, and that was a weekday. Yeah.
It's nicer to go out during the week. I don't know. Maybe this will start pushing us to have a full workforce that works from home. Except for healthcare. I don't really know how healthcare would work in first responders, but...
But if they could get to their jobs, quicker without traffic, then it's fine.
There's always going to be traffic in Hawaii, on Oahu.
There's just so many people here, and there's so many visitors. Can I just say, I was talking to a guy who lives on Kauai, and we were both talking about the lockdown, and I said how crazy it was when they had all of the cars, all of our rental cars, parked at Aloha Stadium. Yeah. And it looked like a million cars. I mean, it was like 10 car dealerships or more. There's so many cars. I'm like, oh my God, that's how many people are renting those cars. And those are the cars that are on the road. It's not the locals. It's the tourists. Yeah. And he was saying on Kauai, he also saw the same thing. They had, I think it was Kmart or Walmart. I think it was Kmart. Kmart shut down, and they had a very big parking lot, and it was packed. with all the rental cars. And they're not like parked in the parking spaces. They are parked as close as you can together, like sardines, to just, and it was the same thing at the stadium.
Make space.
Yeah. They were just like compact, just pushing them as close as they can. Every inch counted.
Yeah, and now those cars were worth a lot, and I think they like exported them all, and now you guys barely have any rental cars.
We barely have any rental cars, and the tourists are having to, rent anything else. And there are these funny little 2-seater. They look like motorcycle sidecars. That's what they look like, but they're 2-seaters, and you drive them, and they're just so teeny tiny. And then of course the mopeds. In fact, yesterday I saw 2 girls on mopeds. Both of them had helmets, but they were only wearing their 2-piece bikinis. And I'm like, oh dear, girls, don't crash, because all of your
don't fall
skin
off.
will be gone.
Oh my goodness. What a terrible image.
I know. When you see somebody who's
you can always take them to Queens.
You just
they don't
fall
do
down.
like
skin
they don't
transplant,
do like
skin grafting.
No, they don't do any grafts or anything.
Oh,
they barely can do grafts, and so you have to fly to the mainland to get some good quality plastic surgery from like Beverly Hills or San Francisco or whatnot.
I know. And both of them were like just turning red and red. I mean, I understand you're on vacation, you want to come here, but the sun is so hot, and I don't know, it doesn't take very long for you to just burn.
It's better now. Okay.
It was a fan.
I'm good.
Okay.
All
Very
right.
good.
Cool. All right. Let's continue on. You had the dog. I had the ceiling fan. All is well in the world.
All is well in the world. That's just where we are. We're recording for you guys in our natural environments.
Yeah. Something like that. I mean, right now I'm looking at 2 betta fish, and they're swimming around. And I think it's really funny because betta fish and me are... they can be a struggle. And so I have a double aquarium where there's one on each side of a partition. Mm-hmm. And one is named Fish Stick the second because I had a Fish Stick the first and he's gone now. But we don't like to talk about it. They look the same. Uh-huh. They look the same. They're a black orchid crown tail. Very pretty. And then I have another one. His name is Toro, fatty tuna. And basically... this one is like red with blue. It's very pretty. When I got it, it was like really tiny, like less than a centimeter. And now it's this massive betta. And for some reason, my betta, Fish Stick the second got really sick, and all his fins were gone.
Oh no!
So he got fin rot or whatever. And the other one is completely fine. Big, beautiful. Red and blue, gorgeous fish. And so I had to treat the entire tank with antibiotics because you didn't know, right? Mm-hmm. You didn't know if the other one had it and is just more resistant. So I'm looking at them now. My poor fish is like tiny. And Toro is this massive, big fish. Giving me the dirtiest look right now. I haven't. But I love betta fish. I think they're very calming. They actually don't have gills. They have lungs. So they have to breathe air from the top of the surface. Mm-hmm. And I don't think they can hold their breath that long. But the only real way they die is either getting an infection or they jump out of the tank and then they dry up. As long as the fish is like wet, then they can live outside of the tank. And you can actually teach them to do tricks. So I saw on a TikTok video, so I'm glad you're on TikTok now. Mm-hmm. A person put like a little hoop like above the fish tank and the little betta goes bloop. And just like jumps right through it. And I've seen Toro jump up vertically to get food. And I'm like, you need to calm down, sir. Because all the pretty bettas are men. They're not smart sometimes, but they're very food driven. It's kind of cute. But no, I really like them. I think they're very calming fish and they're very pretty. Basic beginner fish.
That's very true.
Have you ever had a betta?
My brother did. I actually had goldfish. I used to have the big, the bumpy looking ones. I don't know what they're called.
They're like lion head goldfish.
Yeah, I always had those, and I never had more than one at a time.
Yeah, they're hard to take care of. Goldfish are like dirty fish.
They are dirty.
They have to have constant.
I want to say I had to clean that tank every few days, and it became such a chore. But they were pretty. And I don't know why my mom kept encouraging me to have it.
They're good luck.
You're right. They are good luck. And it's probably the luck of that fish that got our family through some tough things.
Oh, I've seen a lot of goldfish that have like fish or like not fish, swim bladder issues. So all fish have a swim bladder to go up and down in the water. And it's funny because there's a TikTok of a goldfish that is a lionhead goldfish that has a swim bladder issue, and it just lays on its side on the bottom of an aquarium. And it's in a store or something, and the store owners literally had to put a sign up that says, "This fish is not dead. It has an issue, but it's perfectly fine and alive." And I'm thinking to myself, like, if I was a goldfish, like, please kill me if I am ever just laying on the side
Maybe
at the
he
bottom of
he
the
finds it
tank,
relaxing.
being sad.
Maybe he's zen.
No, it is the most pitiful, like, sad thing to look at. I'm gonna send you a video and be like, here is Mr. Fish laying on its side. It's like just like breathing, and its eyeball is like real big. But I've seen a lot of people take care of their really big goldfish. They dip them in methylene blue like every so often to just keep them from getting infections and stuff like that. It's really hard to maintain fish unless you really have the money to spend on the medications and all the things that. Yeah, exactly. And you've got somebody who can like clean your tank and things. I would hate to be responsible for another life like that.
Yeah,
I don't think I could do it.
I just took my puppy to get tested for a vet visit, and it was $91 just for a couple of meds.
Oh my God, like what kind of meds?
He had parasites and something else. But then they later called me and they refunded the money because he was an adoptee from the Hawaiian Humane Society. So the Hawaiian Humane Society wants to ensure that you have a healthy pet. So they cover the wellness check, and this was part of his wellness check.
Oh, well, that's awesome. I don't think the Houston SPCA does that.
I don't know.
Kind of give you the dog.
Yeah, so they want to make sure that you keep your dog.
Yeah, I saw some advertisements for like $14 pet adoption day or whatever. And I was like, I don't need another dog. I have a new updated picture of Sky and Scout. Super cute, best of friends, little goofy, but they were so sweet. Yesterday I was walking around the land and they couldn't get to me, and they were screaming. They were both screaming to have me come back because they were concerned. And I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not coming back. I'm going to go check out everything. And so I took a picture of them being concerned, and then I took a picture of them trying to get to me. I saw update on Churro, so I don't remember if I mentioned it, but he did leave to go next door because some ladies were over there, lady donkeys. And then I saw him yesterday, and he's a little bit skinnier now, and he wanted to come back because I was feeding him really well. Apples, carrots, feed, treats, all the things. He doesn't get any of that anymore, and he was very sad to see me, and he kept trying to come through, and I was like, you can't, because there's barbed wire everywhere. I was feeding horses, cows yesterday, so I took some video of that, and I'm hoping it did upload because it was really solid video.
I'm excited to see them.
I know, the cows, I called them yesterday. Okay, yeah, it didn't upload. But I called them yesterday. I was like, come on, and you can, on the video, they're running to get to me. So that'll be exciting to check out too.
These are all female cows, not any bulls come running at you.
No, they were bulls. There were a couple, but they were bred for steer wrestling and cattle roping, so they're not aggressive like a bull. They're different breeds. My brother and I are a couple steps closer to getting some goats and some cattle, so that's really exciting. And I'll be able to have more footage of that. I'm excited to get some baby goats because a friend of my mom's actually owns a goat farm, which I found out through like just recently. I was like, Mom, you do realize like we were trying to get some goats. And my brother's chickens now are producing so many eggs that they cannot keep, like my brother and them can't keep up with cooking them.
Okay. What about selling the eggs at the farmer's market?
honestly, a lot of people don't want to buy fresh eggs because, the price is going to be a little bit more than buying in the store. So resilience.org talks about how to keep eggs over the winter time. And it's literally you put eggs in lime water using limes. And what it does is you can keep the eggs for up to 2 years. And they're raw eggs in the shell that just preserve and you can still use them. Isn't that cool?
That is cool.
You have to keep them in a colder area, but...
Chickens just will keep producing eggs all year round, though.
Yep.
So they're not going to stop. So you have to start giving them away.
Yeah. That's what my brother's doing now. He's giving them to my parents. But I thought it was really cool. We ended up with a blue egg. So that was kind of neat.
My grandfather, he used to love pickled eggs. And I've never had them. I remember my father making them one time because he just talked about it so much. And I think my grandfather gave him this jar. And I think he even tried to make it on his own one time. But they looked so gross that I was a kid and I was like, no, I'm not eating that. But I bet now if I made it myself, it'd probably be okay. Pickled eggs. My grandfather, I guess he grew up, I think he was born in Iowa or something. And then this family moved to the West Coast. And so he knew how to make moonshine and all kinds of crazy things. I don't know if you've ever heard of cat scratch gravy, which I think is made from bacon fat. You cook your bacon and then you add a little bit of milk to it and it turns into cat scratch. I don't know. I've never had it, but these are weird things that my father would mention that his dad would make.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah. So if you're from Iowa or in the Midwest and you've heard of some of these things, I'd be interested to know more about all of them.
Yeah.
I don't really have anything new to share. I'm really grateful that you had your cosmic apple. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, everybody got to hear me bite into it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for doing that. This time, the only thing that I came across that was interesting is I was trying to find local Hawaii snacks.
Yeah.
That I grew up on or, they were just always around. And my mom, she's so good about buying all kinds of different things, mainly to introduce to my nephews. Well, things that she likes that she had when she was a kid or just things she wants to just try and she just shares. So she buys small, different things of snacks. And one of the ones that I thought was kind of fun were these 3D pineapples. They were gummy bears.
Yeah.
That kind of gummies. But it was a pineapple and it was a good size. I took a picture of it, so I'll post it someplace. But it was tropical flavor. It was good. It really felt 3D. It was very weird to chew into it. I think I preferred chewing into gummy bears. I think they're just more... They're more sharp. Well, pineapple was a little bit, it felt a little too textural.
Oh, wow.
My nephews...
You're going to have to show us what that looks like.
I will. My nephews are in love with chocolate dipped gummy bears.
Ooh.
Yep. I know. I thought they were weird.
What does that even taste like? I don't know if I can get past the chocolate dip.
I know. It has to be a milk chocolate because you need the sweet to match the sweet of the gummy bear, but it's interesting. My son likes them. I personally don't care for it, but I think I can get a picture of that too. But something that I really like that I grew up with are ginger sugar. It's like a ginger sugar coated fortune cookie. But they're not, they're like an open fortune cookie, but it's the same recipe as a fortune cookie. But then they've got like this, when you look at Frosted Flakes and you see the sugar coating on it, but it's ginger flavored sugar frosting on top of these fortune cookie. But they're flatter. But those are...
Seems like a lot of sugar.
Those are just... you're not supposed to eat a lot of them. You just have one. You'd eat one fortune cookie.
You can never just have one.
You only want to keep reading for the fortunes. These don't have any fortunes in it because it's not folded that way. But...
yeah. Hey, I want to tell you something. Fun fact. Remember I told you about kind of my last health checkup? And it came back that I have a little bit of high numbers in my cholesterol. Well, I'm going on week 3 with no red meat.
Wow, good for you.
And you know how much I love a good steak.
A good steak, yeah.
Pork, sausage, just anything.
Well, that's
it is
easier on your bank account. Because right now,
it is
the prices are super high for beef.
Frozen fish at Costco. I mean, I got like 4 little like fillets of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's $9 and they're pretty decent size. I kept telling my mom, I was like, I have to eat 2 of them. I went to a restaurant the other day and they gave me like salmon. I got it and it was literally like maybe 2 fingers wide of salmon. And everybody was at the table was like, I go, what happened here? It's not even a whole fillet. And they're like, oh, that's actually like the normal size portion of fish. And I'm like, this is only like 4 ounces. And they're like, yeah, that's usually what people eat. And I go, look at me. Do I look like I eat 4
You're supposed to have other
salmon?
sides. You're supposed to have, like, I love holly rice with fish.
All I wanted was fish. I was like, all I want is fish right now. And so I had to order an extra side of fish. It was so sad.
or really nice sauteed vegetables. Last night my mom made sauteed spinach with garlic, salt, and pepper. So simple. A little bit of butter. My favorite.
I love a good veggie. I just want to make better choices in regarding to my food. So I just wanted to say that it is working, at least from my perspective. Just not eating so much red meat because I love the things that my mom makes or I make. So ribeye steaks, meatloaf, cabbage soup. I've kind of let go of like shrimp, lobster, crawfish because it's very like high cholesterol, high salt. Hot dogs.
Oh, hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs, hamburgers.
Yeah, because remember the rodeo came. Oh, I love a good hamburger. Ugh. Don't tempt me with a good time, Don't tempt me with a good time.
So, the rodeo would have been famous
Bacon.
for its ribs, right? Everybody must have been serving ribs.
Actually, not ribs. More brisket. I didn't see a lot of ribs there, but I love a good ribs. I love good barbecue ribs.
We just found some.
Now you're making me hungry.
So something that my family we wanted for a while, and I should have gotten like before the pandemic, but didn't. Was a chest freezer. So I've been like packing my freezers solid. And it's really hard to make good ice when you have all your freezer space taken and the vents don't get to where it has to freeze the water for your ice cubes. So finally got a chest freezer.
Yeah.
And as we were moving things, I found this Ziploc bag and it had a date and they were ribs. And so we had ribs for, I don't know, I can't even remember the last time. It must be, the date on that was like 8 months ago. So I would have bought a large size from Costco and then broken it up into smaller sections and put it in the freezer. So I was so excited to find this. I'm like, this is what we're eating tonight. But my son, he took over cooking. He wanted to do it. Now, traditionally, you would put it in the oven. It would bake for hours, at least 3 or 4. And then you put on your barbecue sauce and then you broil it for just a few minutes till maybe about 15 minutes. But I can do ribs in my Instant Pot in 20 minutes. And after it gets to its seal, it takes 15 minutes to get up to the pressure seal. And then it just needs to cook for like 15, 20 minutes. And then it goes right in the oven and then you baste it. But he was like, no, we have to do it the traditional way. And I'm like, it's going to be hours. And he was so insistent. Had to do it right. And I'm like, but there's convenience.
That makes the best kind of cook, though.
No.
They want to do it. They want to do it right. Like, for sure.
I told him that I would pay for him to go to culinary classes because we have a really good program in Hawaii. And I said, just try it. So he's thinking about it.
Yeah. And he would be really great at cooking and running a kitchen because it would be very much. But I think the environment he would really thrive in is having his own like small place, right? Kind of like the Japanese do the omakase. It's very limited seating. There's like 6 people.
Yeah, no. That's what he does to us. That's what our family
and it's an experience.
Family life is. So when he does cook, and he doesn't cook every day, it's a thing. It's like he has his audience, and we do not snack. We don't do anything to ruin our appetites at all. to make sure that we're going to enjoy everything that he makes. And then he watches you eat. And he's like, compliments? Compliments to the chef?
No feedback. Just compliments?
No feedback. That's not allowed. Nothing honest. No, everything he does honestly
That's
is
cute.
He really does do a lot of research. He's, thank goodness for the internet, because he'll look up a recipe and then he'll just make it, and then he'll make it on his own. I've taught him enough so that he can just go and experiment and do everything. He puts in crazy spices that even I'm like, no, that's too much. But it turns out fine. So I've learned to...
I get worried when I put too much spices in. I do. I get really worried. I'm like, oh no, I messed up. But no, not really.
No. And as long as you keep tasting, you can always adjust, right? So he's like that. And I'm really proud of him for continually pushing the envelope to like try new things. And because of him, we've tried cuisine from literally all over the world. So
That's awesome.
COVID lockdowns was interesting because he made it interesting for all of us.
So COVID helped in a little bit of ways.
It did. I mean, he found something that he loved doing. But I think he could definitely be like a private chef, to host small dinner parties, things like that. But he doesn't want to work in a restaurant atmosphere. Too crazy, he says.
Keep sharing the culinary experiences. Thanks for joining us for another episode of My Tais at Sunset. Happy Aloha Friday. Have a drink for us, because we didn't drink throughout the whole episode, but I sure did love my cosmic apple. A star was born, apparently, with this apple. Be sure to check us out at mytaisatsunset.com. Check out the new TikTok. Mai's dog Kona is the star.
Kona and coffee.
Kona and coffee. How cute. And check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and anywhere you listen to your favorite podcasts.
And until we meet again, ahoy ho.